Hey, it's Dr. PJ, and I'm coming to you after a 2-year hiatus with another episode of Got College. And I came out, and the first thing I wanted to talk to you all was about a tweet that I had actually seen probably about yesterday, a couple of days ago. It was Friday to be exact. And it was on Target offering a debt-free education. Of course, if you're like me, you have a lot of student loan debt that came with definitely the graduate level degrees. Undergrad, thank goodness I did good on the ACT so I could go for free. But those of us that had to take out student loans on the graduate level, we know that is very expensive, depending on what school you go to. But anyway, back to the subject today. And I saw this tweet and I said, okay, well, you can go to school debt free. What does that mean for this big box store to actually say that they're going to send their employees to college for free? So given that, they pretty much will pay for tuition, your books, and any other fees that are associated with their educational costs. So Target is saying over the next 4 years, they're going to actually dedicate $200 million to send its more than 340,000 US-based employees back to school through their Target Forward initiative, which is about creating an equitable workspace for its employees. But of course, the caveat to doing that is that you actually have to be in a business aligned program. So Target is going to utilize the education in which the funds rather that they're paying for you to actually go to school to help build their company. So in doing that, Target is saying you can get any certifications, any certificates on them, but who doesn't want a free education, right? So that's a good incentive to make you want to go sign up for Target. So with that, at a very high level, they're participating through a company called Guild Education. And so I said, well, gotta do some research on Guild to see what exactly is going on with Guild. Guild likes to be called Guild. They're pretty much gonna be the conduit for bringing it all together. So pretty much Target's employees would actually sign up through the Guild platform to actually look into what schools they would be a best fit for. And for the most part, Target is going to make direct payments to the actual institutions that their particular employees are going to sign up. But Guild is going to be the conduit. Guild will be the one that does the advising and the placement in regards to which institution is going to be very big or in your future or the best choice for that particular employee. Now, second to that, I did notice in the Target article, they actually highlighted HBCUs, two of which, of course, one is going to be Morehouse, and the second one was actually Paul Quinn. So I was really excited to see those two institutions mentioned in their particular article. And of course, you have the big online giant like the University of Arizona that they highlighted, as well as Cornell. So yeah, you can get a Cornell degree online. But also in that very same segment from Inside Higher Ed was Walmart, the other big box giant, right? And so I went on there and looked, I followed the link. You got to follow the breadcrumbs. And so in doing that, I clicked the link, which led me to Walmart's most up-to-date article. So Walmart had actually been talking about this a week prior to Target even coming out. And their program is called Live Better You. And for the most part, that particular program is tailored to adult learners. So given that Walmart's been participating since 2018 in this particular tuition assistance type program, not 2016, it's 2018, excuse me. And Walmart initially marketed its courses towards adult learners, and they said they wanted a more competent staff. But of course you say, well, what would make Walmart want to actually pay for education? Well, it's more so an incentive. Employees were actually leaving. So when you have people leaving, this is more so a retention or like a carrot, as they may say. And since starting the program in 2018, Walmart's had about 52,000 participants. And most recently, they graduated about a total of 8,000 over the time they've been participating in this particular program through Guild, the platform that I mentioned earlier. Guild Education, which is Guild. They like to go by Guild. They finished about 8,000. But in the particular Walmart article, they didn't highlight HBCUs, which would be something that I would be looking for. And of course, my colleagues and friends will be looking for as well, as far as participating schools. And Walmart, unlike Target, is only working with 10 educational platforms. to deliver the education to their students. And two of those institutions are your big online presence schools like SNU. I worked and lived in New Hampshire for a little bit over a year. So that Southern New Hampshire University that has a very large online student population in excess of about 60,000, as well as Purdue University Global. So yeah, again, like Cornell with Target, Purdue, you can actually get that big Purdue degree online as well. But going back to even 2018, there was an article when Guild established this relationship with Walmart that really highlighted just in gist, the overall goal of the program and the overall goal of the partnership. But in there, they actually did interview a couple of employees. But one in particular was a lady that said, yeah, they're making it free for us to go to school, but not necessarily free, because a part of Walmart's program, you had to give $365 towards your own tuition. So Walmart wasn't going to just give it away. They equate that to saying, oh, it's just $1 a day. We've all seen that. But going back to the subject at hand, with the young lady, when she talked about it, she said Walmart doesn't do flex schedules. So it's like, yeah, you're incentivizing us with going to college, or, maybe enhancing what we've already done and getting an additional skill that's related to the business. Because of course, they're not going to pay for anything that's not necessarily business related. So in doing that, it wasn't possible. She said, I don't know how many employees are actually going to be able to take advantage of this if they, continue it, given that there's no flexibility with schedule. So pretty much the bottom line, you got two of your largest big box chains, sending people to college. I mean, it's a very good thing. They're saying they're going to do debt-free education. And of course, when you think about adult learners, which Walmart's program mostly tailors towards his adult learners, and they've taken that restriction off as of August the 16th. So it's completely free like Target. So, even though Target came a week later announcing their particular education assistance program, but Walmart is saying, as of August 16th, no more $1 a day. You don't have to pay the $365 towards your own education. It's completely debt free. So that's tuition, books, as well as fees. And they'll work with those 10 particular programs. So, and I just think about it. I say, well, given the world today and where we are today, what exactly does that mean? What does that mean? So if you live like me, I live in Mississippi right now. And prior to that, I lived in New Hampshire. And as I travel, of course, sometimes you may forget something. You have to go to one of the big box chains. Excuse me, I keep mixing that up, right? The big box chains. So if you have to go to Walmart or Target, you notice there are no cashiers. So it kind of makes you think, if they're pushing this initiative of saying we're going to pay for our workers to go to school, of course, it's kind of like dangling the carrot to get people to come in and work beyond that 90 days before they say, well, hey, I'm out of here. But more so just wanting a more skilled labor force, wanting a more skilled labor force. Somebody's got to be able to work the machine. Somebody has to think about, the supply chain management. When we think about natural disasters, living in Mississippi, living in Texas and Arkansas, and of course we had that big ice storm this past February, someone had to work the logistics to say, well, how do we get this truck from this warehouse over to this warehouse? So it actually benefits them to make this initial investment in hopes of an employee maybe moving up, from just being what we would have known of, like the young lady in the article, she was the dressing room attendant. She could actually, if they made that investment and she took advantage of it in one of those related programs, then she could be one of will be a part of the think tank. Let's just say that. She'll be a part of the think tank that helps say, well, hey, we can get water from this warehouse. We can get these clothes from over here. Because remember, everything shuts down if the roads are closed. So you just have to think about that. But I don't think that it's a bad idea that they're choosing to do this. I'm really excited about it. I've had some classmates that have worked at Walmart. I know I was one of the call center college students. We all went there and it was the tuition reimbursement. So you had to show a passing grade and then turn that information back into your employer. And at that time, they would go ahead and reimburse us that money that we spent on the coursework that was related to, the business goals. So anything, usually any business type program, they look at the course descriptions if it's not within a business degree plan or whatnot. But this is nothing new. It's been around. And of course, right now, they just want people to go to work. Anything that it takes. So, it sounds good. I just tell people to always do your research. I'll make sure I provide my sources in the description. And it's been great. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Bye.